Yo, how's everyone doing? Welcome back for some more Forza Horizon 3. Today I'm sharing with you the 1960 718 RS60, and this is another car from the Porsche Car Pack. So I just want to show you this car in the Forzavista, share with you some racing gameplay, and also let you hear the sounds of this car, which the sounds of this car are actually really nice. You hear this really awesome downshift crackle, and it's honestly something I haven't really heard too much with a lot of these Porsches. So this classic racer right here has some really nice sounds going on with it, and on top of that, it's actually a pretty nice looking car. I mean, for a 1960, this thing looks good. I have to say that for sure. I was very impressed with the looks of this car, and the interior is designed really nicely as well. But in terms of performance, this thing is really close to the top of the B class in its stock rear-wheel drive, but overall the car actually drives very nicely. It doesn't feel like some of the newer Porsches, obviously. It just doesn't have that same feel, but the car drives very nicely. I mean, it is a classic racer, so it should be a pretty good performing car, and the gearing on this car feels a little bit weird, but I kind of like it because the gears are very, very long, and first gear goes to about 55, and second gear you go all the way to about 95, so it's pretty crazy. Once again, another Porsche where you can go 90 in second gear. But besides that, the launch is a little bit weird just because that first gear is so long once again, so it kind of feels a little bit sluggish, and this car does have a lot more wheel spin. I mean, it only weighs like 1,000 pounds and it makes 160 horsepower, 120 torque, so even though it doesn't make a lot of power, I mean, the car basically weighs nothing. Most of the weight is just the motor of the car, so it's pretty crazy actually if you think about that. But besides the launch, I mean, the acceleration feels very good in this thing. For a B-class car, this car is certainly very fast. I mean, it's 0 to 100 in just over, I think it was 11 seconds, which for a B-class car, I think that's actually very good. And the top speed is good for this thing as well. It tops out at about 150, which for, once again, a B-class car, all the statistics are very good for this thing, and the handling is good. It does seem to have a little bit of extra oversteer, but honestly for me that's never a bad thing. Any car that has enough oversteer where it can turn really well, generally I have no problem controlling. And the braking is probably the worst thing. I mean, with how long the gears are and the brakes just not being all that good, the braking is probably the worst thing about the car, but overall, the performance is very good on this thing. But with that being said, although the performance of the 718 is good and the sounds are pretty nice, I mean, for some reason I just didn't have a ton of fun driving this car. Like, it didn't really give me that thrill that a lot of the other Porsches have given me, the newer ones and even some of the older ones from the 70s and the 80s. For some reason, all the other cars have really been a lot more fun to drive, but this car certainly performs good, and I really like the crackling this thing does when it downshifts. And this drivatar right here, he was just trying to stay in my way the whole time there. He was just not letting me get by, and eventually I had to sideswipe him a little bit. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this classic racer, but as always, thank you very much for watching. There's now only one more Porsche from the Porsche Car Pack that I have to review yet, so hopefully these reviews of all the cars from the pack have been helping everyone decide whether or not they want to get the Porsche Car Pack. But I really hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all again very soon. Peace out.